Welcome back to Warthon and welcome aboard the M60, which is an American main battle tank slash medium tank at a battle rating of 7.7. And this is my 7th or 8th attempt to make a proper commentary on this tank, because at the end of the day it would end up in a rant where I just complain about the tank, blah blah blah. And this time I tried to make it a bit short. So first of all, I have an absolute hatred against L7 guns and all guns based upon it up until this point. Not just because of the horrible stock grind, but basically about the horrible unreliability of the shells, the ammunition, and yeah, then again also the stock grind, which is interacted with each other. And I think it's made deliberately by Gaijin to make people invest gold to get to the tier 4 upgrade, which is a heat FS shell. There are some exceptions with stabilizer, but the M60 has no stabilizer. And this obviously makes the direct comparison to the higher tier versions, the M60 A1 and also the M60 A1 Rise P, but also the T95 E1 and also obviously the Soviet T62, to a certain degree also Type 74 or STB1 in particular, and also of course then the Leopard. And the Leopard in particular annoyed the living hell out of me when I tried to get the heat shell by just simply playing it. So I tried to disable the gun breach, the shell just disappeared somewhere in the void, talking here about the APDS round, and yeah, ammunition didn't blow up but just went black and just vanished, and the return shot killed me. I was never fast enough to make a decisive difference in the location. After the first engagement my benefits were all gone. I was just located and then hunted down, and the gun was wobbling all around on the Leopard, and to a certain degree the M60 has the same problems, and it's even slower. In fact, it seems to have a bit like Panther mobility, so it's very sluggish and slow in close quarters, but in the long run, you know, in a straight line, so to speak, you can go up to astonishing speeds. And this battle is an absolute exception for numerous reasons. First of all, I killed what I shot at. I wasn't shot at in return. I wasn't farmed by the T62s that farmed like half of my team before we even reached the positions that we are now in. And yeah, I could get in the shots, and the lack of a gun stabilizer didn't really matter. And at the end, little spoiler alert, we won the game. I had a decent amount of kills, but I don't think that it really shows the tank to perfection. But when I would show the tank to perfection, it would be a fail compilation. And the big difference here to the T62 is that I just don't have any sort of fun. It's not engaging, it's not a challenge really to play this tank. It's work, it's goddamn hard work, and I don't like to play this in my free time. And it's the same with the Leopard and also even the Centurion Mark 10. I hated on the Centurion Mark 10 in the past and thought that the Centurion Mark 3 is a way better tank at the battle rating versus battle rating discussion. So I don't have positive feelings for the M60. Now, why am I playing this tank? For numerous reasons. First of all, I wanted to see if anything has changed in the past. The answer is not really. The second thing is, it was requested by one of my subscribers, and I thought to myself, well, this time is good as any before the new patch drops. And with the new patch there's also a premium tank coming, which is the Magach 3, which is basically an M48 hull with an M60 turret, and it also features an L7 gun variant. It's the M68 as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And I just tried it out to get a bit more feeling for it. And I was quickly reminded why I don't like the tank. You have pathetically thin side armor, you are very vulnerable, you don't have the biggest of survivability, your armor is kind of trollish both for you and the enemy, and the tank really performs best at longer ranges on bigger maps, for example on Kursk, much like the T62, but the T62 has better all-around armor, it's a smaller target, and it has a stabilizer and a better stock ammunition. And even fully upgraded, I think the T62 beats the M60. Simple as that. Yes, it has a 0.3 higher battle rating, but this is also showing the big difference in performance. Now, people don't like me complaining about this tank, complaining about L7 guns. They experience it otherwise, but it's just a big difference that I noticed when coming from the T62 to the M60. So please keep that in mind. But also when we look into the remaining American tech tree, this is kind of part of the pattern from the M46 to a certain degree, but certainly for the M47 and M48. The M48 having also 7.7 battle rating for God knows what reason. Horrible stock grind, really unenjoyable to grind through, and a lot of golden eagles to be invested to make them competitive. Not strong, but competitive. And this is a difference why I dislike certain, especially the American medium tanks at rank 5. They're just horrible for me personally. I don't have fun, and this is the basic message. They just not have inferior stats, inferior handling, they're not fun. Okay, something like a mouse can be fun if the enemy is stupid and you have the support of your team and you have a good round, then it is satisfying. But even this battle with the 5 kills so far was not satisfying. It was just, I didn't get ruffles done, and you could see how passive I was playing in the beginning. I was just farming the enemy. Again, I was very lucky to get into this position without getting shot into the side. A few shots missed me, but I had to go into this position, and now I secured A. After I convinced myself that no Russian gun barrel is pointed into my direction. And yeah, the shots are coming in, but the Leopard 1 regretted it immediately because he was killed by the Conqueror. So the thing is this, it's an exceptional battle. I also had previous battles with 5 kills, something like this. But again, it was the enemy ignoring me and just feeding themselves to me. I was always forced to play passively to lay an ambush. And remember, this is the performance of a fully upgraded tank with an expert qualification, with a good crew, and I just don't have fun. It's really hard work. It's exhausting to play this tank. Another tank that is at 8.0 in the American tech tree is in the quote-unquote heavy tank line, the T95 E1. It also has no stabilizer. It has in fact a 90mm gun, but it fires an AP FSDS round, which is amazing. And it has the post-penetration damage effect. It's reliable. Yes, even the reload is longer, but you know, it's the first shot that makes so much damage, that is so reliable. I absolutely love it. And I was surprised that I really did it. You might have a look at the tank review of this tank. Really a positive feeling about this tank. I would take it out any day of the week and couldn't complain too much. AP FSDS is the flavor of the month, and yeah, Gaijin seems to have forgotten about the L7 gun and its variants. Now there is hope that they might buff a lot of the things around the L7 gun and its variants and the ammunition and the handling, so forth, because obviously now a premium tank is coming in and it needs the positive reviews from all the YouTubers, all the first impressions and so forth, to get sold. So I have a little bit of hope there, and let's see how it goes. This is all that I can tell you. So it was kind of a nice battle here, and again, the enemy ignored me. I had 3 shots at them, and at this point in time I could have done the same thing with Leopard. I could have done the same thing, hell, even I guess with an M48 pattern fully upgraded, and with many other tanks. So yeah, the armor is not really the selling point, but you suffer from it with a lack of mobility. Again, bit Pantherish mobility. The armor, well, from the side it's pathetic. You are a huge target. From the front, the hull is actually not bad. And even if you penetrate the hull, very often just the driver gets knocked out because they shoot at the middle, and you can take 2 of those shots and you're still able to fire back. But you have such a big cupola. Yes, I know on the Magach 3 its size is significantly reduced, but it's still there. And if you want to have a glimpse at the usual damage output that I experience, let's have a look at this German SPA, which is the Coelian. So first of all, I get the shot in, and it just damages the cannon breech. By the way, I have no idea why the sound is now desynchronized. The original recording doesn't have this problem. In the beginning it was kind of perfectly synchronized. Now I hit the ammunition and it didn't blow up. And also all the damage was absorbed and it didn't hit one of the crew members directly behind the ammunition. So this is the frustrating part, the part that I really hate about this tank. Even if you put all this effort into you know, getting yourself into position, the gun pointed at the enemy, you pull the trigger and it doesn't do enough damage. If this could be an open field and it would be a normal tank, a medium tank or a heavy tank, he could return fire and actually delete me despite getting the first shot in. And this is what I absolutely hate about it. And it's this situation that is then again controversial. Why didn't you aim for another part? Why didn't you switch ammunition? Why didn't you hash this guy into oblivion? Well, in theory I could, but there is no guarantee it would have changed anything. And now the Coelian got killed, and did I get even the assist? I don't think so. Doesn't really matter. There is a ZSU 57-2 firing at an aircraft. I want to kill him. But yeah, the match is about to end, and I'm really happy that we won this match. So I'm at this point out of words. I don't like the tank. I just always seem to have bad games in it most of the time, unlike with the T62, which I really enjoyed, where I was looking forward to the next engagement, the next match, where I was actually enjoying to respade it. With this tank, yeah, I just played it because one of my subscribers asked for it, because I didn't play an American tank in recent time, to be honest, and I also wanted to you know, re-experience it, and why I have such bad feelings about the tank. Because sometimes you think about a tank, actually it was not that bad, maybe I just had bad luck. You go back to it and instantly know, that's why. That's why I didn't play the tank in quite this time. And again, this is a fully upgraded tank with a fully experted crew, and I still barely made it work. Big thanks to the enemy team for helping me out by ignoring me, by allowing me to get in the first shot. And I exclusively used here actually just heat, and the result, well, for our 1 cap, 1 assist and 6 kills, we got nearly 50,000 civilians and over 4,000 research points and the Survivor Award. And I was second in team with 2,080 points. So whoever requested it, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but I hope you enjoyed the video. The rest of you as well, please give it a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies and on the battlefields of War Thunder.